Hey, what's up guys? Today is March 29th. It is officially, I want to say, currently 4 days until the reveal of the Switch 2's library through the Direct. So I thought it'd be interesting to, and yes, that does date this video, it's fine. Because today, we're going to be looking at not only the lineup of games shown off at the Nintendo Direct, but also everything that's going to be released in the next year of the Switch 2. I think that's going to be a lot more interesting to look into. So yeah, let's get started. Let's start with the release date. I believe that it's gonna be June. That's a guess based on a few things. We have lots of sources saying that. I really don't think it's wise to release this and then just like have the Switch come out immediately. I just don't think that's gonna happen. So I would predict around June. Kind of weird for it to come out in June. If I had to guess, just like without any like information, I would almost rather say November because they have a pattern of doing November in both the Wii U and the Wii's release dates. That being said, I do think that it kind of makes sense to have an earlier start. I think if I would have predicted this like a year ago, I might have said March, but obviously it's not coming out in March. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with June to be safe. Could come out later, looking like it's gonna come out in June. First thing, I went ahead and looked at all of the games that got revealed in the first year of the Switch. As you can see on release day, or the release week, 1-2 Switch, Breath of the Wild. That's all we got on the Switch. Wii U, Singing Party, whatever that is, New Super Mario Bros, Ninja Gaiden 3, Nintendo Land. By the time we get to the Wii, it's a little bit older, but you got Excite Truck, Twilight Princess Wii Sports. I think it's likely that we're gonna get 2 games at launch. There's a chance we could get a 3rd game, maybe, but I kind of doubt it. What I have so far for the Switch 2 is Metroid Prime 4 and a showcase game made by the developers that worked on 1-2 Switch. I think that's pretty much a shoe-in. I do think Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a dual release. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. I think this is a fantastic game to showcase the engine. We just saw Metroid Prime 4 at the Switch 1 Direct that happened a few days ago, so we're going to be getting the reveal of Prime 4 for the Switch 2. It's just going to blow everyone's mind. That's what some leakers have been saying. I would agree with that. That makes sense to me. I don't see why they wouldn't put it on the Switch 2, because it would be overshadowed by other games, and it feels like this is a landmark title. Switch 2 showcase game, let's talk about that. That is going to be made by Production Group 4 of Nintendo EDP, I want to say. They work on a lot of the weird games, the experimental stuff. They did 1-2 Switch. Expect to see the mouse being used a lot. There might be some other thing that we haven't seen yet. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that there's probably at least one other feature that they haven't shown us yet. What is it? I don't know. July, I have a new Kirby game. Kirby is a franchise that Nintendo has been pushing a lot. Over the last few years, we've been seeing a distinct increase in Kirby games. And then there has been a little bit of like nothing. Last game they made was Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe in 23. I would expect a major Kirby game. I might suggest a new 3D Kirby game in the style of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, because it's been just nothing. I would guess that it's something a lot bigger than what we might have gotten before. They're probably not working on Box Boy or Picross or Mother. A lot of people have been saying that we're going to get some sort of Zelda game. I would agree with this. Here's my prediction for that. Zelda HD bundle, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess all in one. Too much to ask for? Probably. Been a while since Twilight Princess and Wind Waker have come out. The remake for both of those is like years old at this point. In addition, Tantalus Media helps with HD ports for both Zelda and Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD obviously being released recently-ish, leaving them open to help work on Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD per chance. I would expect this soon. It might not be in July. Could be a little bit later in the timeline. I'm gonna say July though. Mario Kart 9, the big one.
The big one.
It could be a launch title. Here's the problem I have with it being a launch title. That's never had precedent before. I don't think there's ever been a Mario Kart game at the launch. Or for Switch 1, Mario Kart 8 came out a month after. For Wii U, it didn't come till much later. For Wii, it came out the year after. What do I want to see in a Mario Kart 9? What do I think is going to happen? I think that online is going to be a major priority for them in this generation because of just how poor they've been at it in the past. I don't know what the gimmick is going to be, if there even is one. Could be 24 racers. Here's here's the gimmick. Branching pathways, non-linear track design. It's subtle. It's not as flashy as Anti-Gravity. There's a lot of like interweaving paths like a Sonic game. Actually, I'm thinking about this and this might be problematic because that would make the games less interactive, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's still gonna be my prediction. No new games in September. Nintendo is not going to publish like every game every month. There's going to be breaks, and I've just allotted 3 break months just to be realistic. I think we're going to get a new Fire Emblem game. I think in this generation we're going to see a much bigger emphasis on Fire Emblem, Xenoblade, Kirby, Metroid. Those are the ones that I think are going to be huge. It's been a little while since Thousand Year Door remake came out. It came out last year. So it's been a year. However, I do think that there are 2 things that you need to consider. We haven't had a new Fire Emblem game in years. It's been kind of shockingly dormant. In addition, I don't think that it took them their entire staff to do parts of Paper Mario HD. And I also think that Fire Emblem probably got assistance from CPG or PG2. I've abbreviated these. They work with co-owned franchises such as Fire Emblem, Kirby, and yes, I got this all over Wikipedia. I don't have this memorized. They work on stuff like Fire Emblem, Kirby, Xenoblade, Mario and Luigi. They're usually filling in, helping out with major studios. They're probably helping with Fire Emblem. This is an odd one. Let me start off with saying this. Pokemon ZA is not coming to Switch 2. I don't think that's gonna happen. Just gut feeling, I'm gonna say no. Game Freak doesn't do that. They're more of the mindset of like, get it out, put out a new game. And you'll see later on, I think that Game Freak has other things they're working on for the Switch too. In lieu of that, I think that we're going to get some sort of Pokemon puzzle game. Genius Sonority, the people that made all of the Pokemon puzzle spin-offs before, they've been a little bit quiet. They did Cafe. Yeah, that came out forever ago. It's probably time for a new Pokemon spin-off game. Just based on the numbers. Based on the numbers, I do think that that's semi-like. They always do like these puzzle games with some flavor, and I think here's my pitch. Lots of Pokemon. It's gonna be called Pokemon Icons. You all have your favorite Pokemon. This game has all of the Pokemons. You gotta go around collecting little badges of your favorite Pokemon, and you get them by puzzling. You gotta catch all 1,000 of them, all 1,117 or whatever. To do that, you gotta complete a puzzle. After 10 levels, a Pokemon shows up that you haven't caught yet, and it's like you just keep going until you get them all, and it's basically infinite. That's the game. November, the big one. The big one. New 3D Mario. Obviously it's coming. I do think that it's going to be this year. I know not every 3D Mario game has a history of releasing on the first year. Like 3D World obviously took forever. Galaxy came just after the first year, I believe. That being said, I think Nintendo knows. I think they want to get that out. If you look at the Switch's original lineup, you know, you've got Zelda, ARMS and Splatoon, Odyssey. That's their big October release, and I do think that we're going to see a new Mario game not connected to anything. Will it be open world? That's a good question. I think my gut is telling me yes. I'm concerned about it being open world. I think open worlds are kind of falling out of fashion. I've seen a lot of people be a little bit bummed about Tears of the Kingdom. People kind of talk about like the Ubisoft formula and just how like static a lot of open world games are. That being said, obviously, you know, it's Nintendo. This is going to be their like huge game. They've probably been working on it like since 3D World came out. 3D World and Bowser's Fury. And I'm sure that they've been using that, and that's what everyone's been saying, right? That Bowser's Fury is like the template for the next 3D Mario game. Honestly, yeah, that makes sense. To succeed well, it's gonna have to introduce a lot of new elements. I've had this idea for a while. What if the new 3D Mario game, right? I've always thought it would be cool if there was a farming element to Mario. Now you might be thinking, Zach, why would they have farming in a Mario game? That's a good question. It's because it's fun. Imagine walking around in your open world. You come to the ice world and, you know, look at that. You don't have any fire flowers because you're in the ice world. Imagine now a system where you have a moving farm where you can plant different Mario power-ups into the ground and grow them and take them with you. Now we have a selection of fire flowers, newly freshly planted fire flowers that can come with us into the ice world. It could go even further. What if you were to crossbreed a fire flower with an ice flower? Well, what does it make then? You know, something new, something weird. And maybe that's how you get exclusive power-up. And you'll never run out because it's an open world game and it's Mario and it's fun. That's the gimmick. December. Here's one that is a little out there, but hear me out. Xenoblade Warriors. I don't think that we're gonna get a new Xenoblade this year. Monolith Soft is finishing up Xenoblade X. Xenoblade Warriors would be the perfect opportunity to keep the brand name of Xenoblade alive, while also not using any of Nintendo's own proprietary developers. I think that this is a huge series, and it's only gonna get bigger. There are so many characters. You got your Shulk, Hyra, Mithra, Rex, Noah. What's the cat girl's name? Mio? I'm gonna be honest, I don't play Xenoblade. I don't really know what else you would add. Let me know in the comments what character you want to see in Xenoblade Warriors. New Animal Crossing. Seems kind of wild that it's this early. Production Group 5 of Nintendo EDP works on Animal Crossing and Splatoon primarily. We got Splatoon 3, 2018? 2019? That means they're not working on anything known to us. I think that Animal Crossing is the priority, if I had to choose. I think Nintendo realizes just how massive Animal Crossing was on the Switch 1. It provides Nintendo with the perfect casual experience, and it's the type of game where you can put hours and hours into it. And while the dry period is settling in, it's right after the holiday season, what are you going to put out? Animal Crossing. I have it in February, but it honestly could be in January. I think that it's very much going to be the type of game that comes out when there's not a lot of hype titles coming out, there's not a lot of buzz. This is just its own thing. It comes out, people play it. They love Animal Crossing. And then when the summer season comes in, you can push it more with DLC. That's my guess. Animal Crossing in February. Bring us back to the city. I want to see a game in the Animal Crossing series that isn't a carbon copy of the last one where you're terraforming and you're creating this town out of nothing. I want to see the opposite, in fact, where you go to a town and you slowly destroy it over time and replace it with your own villager propaganda, rebuilding the empire to your own image. That sounds fun. March, I have nothing. April, I think it's safe to say that Camelot is probably working on something right now. They've been dormant since, I want to say, Mario Golf, which is weird to me. What are they working on? I would guess that it's Mario Tennis. At the beginning of each life cycle, we see some kind of tennis game. I want to say in year 2, early on in the Switch life cycle, we got Mario Tennis. Wii U era, that one took a little bit longer, but we got one on the 3DS. It's been a while with Camelot. I don't think it takes that long to make a tennis game. There are a couple other games that I'm going to go into a little bit later that could be replaced. I could see tennis not being this year, but next year. Camelot, tennis. We got golf before, we're getting tennis. We're not getting Golden Sun. It's not happening. Mario Tennis. It's a tennis game. Got Mario. Then we get to 2D Metroid here in April. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. I really think that Nintendo's going to be pushing Metroid this generation. Metroid has become more popular. It's been more well received. Dread was a huge success. Prime 4, people are hyped for. They've got it on the Switch 1 and 2, theoretically. And if not, if Metroid Prime 4 somehow isn't on the Switch 2, this would be an even better way than to escort people into the Switch 2 with a 2D Metroid game. Thing is, the people that do 2D Metroid are PG7. All they work on is 2D Metroid, Famicom Detective Club. We just got a Famicom Detective Club game. It can't possibly take that long to make those, or that many people. I'm guessing they're working on Metroid, that's why I have it on there. And the developer Mercury Steam, all they work on is 2D Metroid. Now, I could see this coming out in year 2 of the Switch, but I'm gonna say that it's probably year 1, just because I think that they're gonna be pushing that Metroid craze. Gen 9 Pokemon May. Did I say Gen 9? I meant Gen 10. Whoops. As a franchise, Pokemon is so fast-paced when it comes to new titles, branding, what is new. In one fiscal year of the Switch's life cycle, we had new Pokemon Snap, BDSP, Legends Arceus, and then later that year we had Scarlet and Violet. That's crazy, but it is pretty commonly what they do. They have a tendency to be releasing a lot of these games, and it helps because BDSP obviously was made by a separate team, Pokemon Snap was made by a separate team, they had Legends Arceus and Scarlet Violet split up within their house. I think we might see something similar here. I think that with ZA coming out on the Switch, it's experimental. They're releasing it for the Switch 1 right before the Switch 2, get it out of the way. By the time the Switch 2 comes out, they have a little bit more time to work. They'll recongeal their subdivisions of developers. Everybody's going to be all in on Gen 10. In fact, I think that in the summer, near when the Switch 2 comes out, they might start showing it off. out, they might start talking about it a little bit, but not at all surprised. I do think that Pokemon makes sense for the big summer title. So these are the games that are produced by Nintendo in the first year. I could go a little bit more in depth with the third-party games. This is going to be a little bit more off the cuff though, because I'm not positive what each studio is working on. We've got the major studios: Capcom, Bandai Namco, Koei Tecmo, maybe. Square Enix, there we go. Could we get a Dragon Quest? Maybe. Mega Man? I don't know. Okami? I could see that coming to the Switch. The Switch 2, sorry, I keep saying that. They might try and port Street Fighter 6 over to the Switch 2. I think that would be a bad idea. I don't think people would buy it. I think it would look bad. With Square, a lot of people have been saying Kingdom Hearts ports of the original HD collection. I think that makes sense. People were disappointed with the reveal that the ports on Switch were cloud-based, so I do think that it would make sense for them to go back and fix that for the Switch 2. It's just a matter of if they see it fit to bring those games to Switch 2 again. I could see Kingdom Hearts 3 coming to the Switch 2. That one I wouldn't be as surprised by. I think that makes more sense, in fact. We might get news on Kingdom Hearts 4, I kind of doubt it. Same thing with like Silk Song. We're not getting news on Silk Song. I kind of don't think that that's coming out year one of the Switch's life cycle. Maybe. We'll see. A new Lego game, perchance. Warner Bros. Studios Interactive. What do they make? They make Mortal Kombat, they make the Lego games, they make Scribblenauts. New Scribblenauts. Why? I don't know. I think that actually that has precedent. There's a couple Scribblenaut games that came out for the Wii U. There was one, I think that came out recently actually. So maybe not. We could see a new Mario and Rabbids game. That could take priority over the Mario Tennis game. I don't know that that makes sense, like timeline-wise. Sonic, I don't think we're gonna get any Sonic games soon. Maybe, but I doubt it. Let's talk about major ports coming to the Switch. The big ports that I see, again, Kingdom Hearts. Oh, Final Fantasy, that's the other one. A lot of people are saying Final Fantasy VII. The remake, Rebirth are both coming. I could definitely see that happening. Other than that though, it's Starfield. One other thing, I do think Minecraft specifically probably going to be a priority. Gonna say probably going to happen sooner rather than later. Oh, that is something else I was going to talk about. Platinum and Sega. Could we get a new Bayonetta? Maybe. Bayonetta 3 came out a while ago, so they could be working on that. Could get a spin-off game like Cereza. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Sega, also, Atlas. Maybe there could be something cooking with SMT. We got the new game, or the remake, coming to Switch. Devil Summoner, I think is the one. We could get an SMT 6. I think it's a little too early for SMT 6. I do think that we might get ReFantazio on Switch 2. I want to say Persona 6 is still a long ways off. Ubisoft, again, maybe Mario and Rabbids, not Rayman. Let's go over a couple of my side predictions. These are kind of like we don't get the main predictions. These are going to be kind of the thing that I think we're going to get instead. 3D Zelda, I do think that is in the pipeline. PG3 works on that. I think that they probably have Monolith Soft helping them out again, especially now that Xenoblade is finished up. I think that both Monolith Soft Tokyo and Kyoto just hard at work doing Zelda. Or whenever Xenoblade X releases, they'll come back together and work on Zelda. New Mario Party, I really don't think that'll be in the first year. It's just that ND Cube, the creators of that, they haven't been doing much. I mean, we're not gonna get a Switch party. I don't think we're gonna get a new Clubhouse games, so that would be my guess. New Dr. Mario. I think this will come eventually. I genuinely think this. Dr. Mario 99. Dr. Mario 99. I think that makes a lot of sense. Just imagine playing Dr. Mario with 99 other people. Revolutionary. Araika. This is why I think that we might be getting a new Dr. Mario. They did Endless Ocean, Dr. Mario, Tetris 99, Mario 35. So they did a lot of those 99 games. The only one that they didn't do was F-Zero 99, which I believe was NST. They have their hands free at the moment, I would imagine. It's been a while. I think Dr. Mario 99 would be easy. I think that's what they're doing. Other things that I noticed. Sakurai working on a new game. They said so, or hinted at it. Probably not Smash. And I guess Kid Icarus. Could be Kirby. Doubt it. I really doubt it. Maybe we could get Air Ride 2. It's me coping. I doubt it. Could be that he's working on something completely random. New Meteos game. Maybe a new, what is that bug game? The bug fighting game where you flip bugs or whatever. That's what we're getting. That's the one. Next Level Games. Next Level Games, I do think could have a game coming out this year. We're either getting a new Luigi's Mansion or a Metroid spin-off. Could we get the elusive Federation Force 2? Perchance. PG-10, I'm kind of at a loss at. They do 2D Mario and Pikmin, so I think regardless, they're probably not having a game come out this year. That being said, who knows what they're working on? Obviously, Pikmin 4 and Mario Wonder came out last year. They came out with those games. They're not coming out with anything else. Ating, probably either assisting or developing something random. Because we're not getting a new Kudu game, and they made Switch Sports Basketball specifically. Why? Good Feel is probably not making anything this year because we've got Wario Land, Kirby Epic Yarn, Woolly World, so Yoshi and Kirby spin-offs. Princess Peach Showtime just came out like kind of recently. I would say we're probably not going to see them in action, but they're kind of a wild card. Indie Zero. This is another wild card. They make Brain Age, Sushi Striker, Electroplankton. Hell, we could see anything. So that's the list. There might be something I missed, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and I will hopefully see you in a little while when I say I told you so.